Just when you think the midseason headlines can't get any crazier, the LA Gladiators go out and officially announce that they're releasing Danteh from their roster. And at least according to rumors, they will be replacing him with former LA Valiant and O2 Blast tank player, Marve1. Not gonna lie, this news has caught me a bit off guard. There were a lot of rumblings that Marve1 was heading to the LA Gladiators, but I had no idea that it meant that Danteh was gonna be completely off the team. It's really unfortunate just because this new arc for Danteh was really exciting. There are a lot of questions about whether or not he'd even get picked up this season with the lack of Western teams out there for him to choose from. So it just sucks to see his story come to an end so soon, and this very well might be the end of his career for all we know. There's a possibility that he decides to move on from Overwatch altogether and do something else with his life, which is very understandable considering how long he has been a pro in this scene, which makes this a very bittersweet situation. A lot of us have been watching him play since the early days in 2018, so to watch him go now just like this potentially definitely hits close to home. But at the end of the day, the Gladiators had to make a choice. The Gladiators could either be loyal or try their best to improve their team before it's too late, because there have been times where they've been very up and down and not consistent enough to compete at that level that you're hoping for. And while definitely not all of his fault, unfortunately, some of that blame lies within the tank department, where when they had to play the standard dive, Danteh sometimes was not getting it done. Winston unfortunately has been the primary tank pick this season, and Danteh still not all that experienced on that role and not that explosive on it either. He's looked good on other things like the Ramasha, for example, definitely one of the better in the league on him. But Winston is what's being played the most right now, so you need someone who has a bit more experience on that role. It can help you more with the playmaking. If you feel like there's a way to make your team better and to get them to that next level, when you're already so close to greatness, you gotta go out there and do it. I'm definitely feeling for Danteh right now, but for both sides, this is probably for the best. Because for all we know, based off of this tweet from Danteh, maybe he wasn't enjoying playing tank or being in the league all that much this year, so maybe the Glads getting rid of him is just something that's doing him a major favor. It's hard to say where Danteh goes from here, but we'll be watching his career with great interest for the time being. In the meantime, we gotta look towards the present. Let's talk about Marve1. Now, officially, the LA Gladiators have not said anything yet on their social media, but it's basically a done deal, at least according to some very credible leakers on Twitter. And if this is the case, if Marve1 is joining the team, it is a pretty ideal signing. And the reason I say this is because the LA Gladiators seem pretty intent on running a single tank. And if you're running one tank, then you have to make it your mission to get somebody who can be reliable no matter what the meta is, and Marve1's gonna fit the bill there, as he's pretty flexible, as shown by what he's done recently on O2 Blast and the LA Valiant, and he just generally has a lot of main and off-tank experience from all the stuff he went through on the Seoul Dynasty back in the day. And of course, most importantly, he can play that Winston a lot more effectively than what Danteh could. And then on top of that, you're getting the bonus of someone who can pick up the Ramatra and do it relatively well. He can play Ryan if you need him to. He can play Sig. He's got a pretty strong hero pool, especially for the current meta. Individually, he could be a stronger playmaker than Danteh overall, but I also really like the intangibles of Marve1. He's one of the more intelligent players that I have ever watched play this game at the tank position. He's got a good general idea of where he needs to be usually. He positions himself very well and can create a lot of space without having to demand a lot of those resources that other more aggressive tank players usually would. He's super smart and aware of his surroundings. He's quite vocal. He's a really great guy, and I think he could be a seamless fit in this LA Gladiator system. He brings a lot of what you're looking for. He can be a more stable presence, but also more of that star power that you need at the same time. Marve1 has been very strong for O2 Blast recently, and honestly looks like he's leveled up a little bit since his time on the Valiant, which is pretty impressive because, again, he's always been rather solid at his position. I see Marve1 as an insta upgrade in a lot of ways, especially considering where the meta's currently at, so LA Gladiators could see a nice little boost. It may take a little time at the start, but I think in the end, it's really going to help them potentially make a decent run at the playoffs, or at least the play-ins. Marve1's a really solid short-term option, probably one of the more desirable tank free agents on the market right now, so good on the Gladiators for swooping in and signing him. I think he could make a great difference here in the short term, and maybe even in the long term. For now at least, this is a W signing. It helps with with their Winston situation tremendously, helps with their general flexibility and tank experience, and Gladiators could become a better team as a result. Marve1's always been a good player, he has a lot of potential, and this promotion is very well deserved, so good luck to him, and of course to Danteh on whatever his future endeavors might end up being, whether it's Overwatch or something completely different. And that's basically all I have for you, so let me know what you think about Danteh being swapped out for Marve1 down in the comments below, and if you think it'll make any sort of difference in the long run for LA Gladiators. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to stay up to date with all of the most recent Overwatch League news, give this video a like and subscribe to this channel if you're new. I've been ATP, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.